It's your boy Dame Diddy.
Ambitious Ace.
So, heavy spoilers.
All the way.
So if you haven't seen it,
leave.
Nah, watch it. Nah, but so this movie, man.
This movie.
So Jordan Peele said he had 5 movies that he was gonna work on. This was number 2. How did you feel about this movie overall?
I feel like it stands out in the film industry as one of the most creative and distinctive original films ever made.
Yeah, it's definitely up there, man. Anytime a movie has you walking out and you just start, the gears in your brain start turning,
yeah,
they did something special in the movie, man.
Most definitely.
So when we start the movie, I feel like it starts off at the amusement park.
Yeah, it does.
And we see young Adelaide.
Adeline.
Huh?
Adeline.
We see young Adeline, and she's with her parents at the, park.
Well, actually, no, that's not where the movie started. The movie
it started with her actually sitting on the couch
watching TV.
Mm-hmm. And, man, that was one of the reasons why I was saying before you saw the movie, I was like, make sure you pay attention to everything at the beginning.
I had the liberty of seeing it twice.
So
disclaimer, let me just get that out the way right now.
I'm just saying, because when I went to see it, people were talking at the beginning.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, y'all gonna miss some shit. I guarantee you that this stupid ass commercial playing is important.
Well, you had already told me to pay attention, and I was like, first of all, when the whole thing came up about the tunnels, I was just like, how is this going to be related to the movie? And then we see these little commercials about Hands Across America. I'm like, okay, this is Jordan Peele starting the movie in the most ominous, weird way. And I was just like, what is this going to happen?
And did you notice the movies next to the...
I didn't pay attention on my first trip, but on my second trip,
but
I did.
I didn't know what movies they were. I was just like, I never seen that. I never seen any of the movies they mentioned.
But, unfortunately for my movie experience, 45 minutes into the film, the screen went black and the audio was still playing. And then they rewinded it about 10 minutes. So everybody was like, cool, okay, cool. Got to the part where it stopped at the first time and went past it, then went black again. Everybody's yelling, throwing popcorn and everything. Then it gets to another screen and it goes black again. Everybody just leaves. So, unfortunately, my first showing of Us was ruined. But the next day I went to another theater and I saw it in its entirety with no problems at all. I still supported the film. I didn't use my movie pass.
Yeah, they tried to jerk them, man. They tried to jerk Jordan Peele's numbers.
Yeah. So I went to another movie theater and supported him anyway. So shouts out to Jordan Peele, man.
And then it kind of goes over a revelation where they kind of go back to when she ran into her doppelganger, where Adelaide ran into a doppelganger. And then this is the point when you find out that Adelaide and Red actually switched places when they were young. So Red choked Adelaide out, dragged her down where she was at,
which
left her there.
Which is the reason for her raspy voice.
Yeah, because she hadn't spoken so long. And the reason why Red...
Oh, well, her vocal cords probably damaged. That's what I thought.
Yeah, possibly that too as well. But, and that's why her vocabulary was so small, because she had been there since she was a kid.
Right.
And so this whole time they had switched places. So when you learn that, the whole movie takes on a whole different meaning.
Yep.
Because it turns into a story of somebody rising, getting a little bit of power, and not want to relinquish it back to the person that it really belonged to.
Yeah.
And then not only that, like, it makes you really wonder, so who was the good guy and who was the bad guy in this whole situation? It creates so many different narratives that it's like mind-boggling.
I think it presents the idea of who was really good or bad. Because, I mean, when I think about it, or Adeline, I guess, who was actually from the underground, the way I took it as she was bad for what, not only was she bad for what she did for switching Red, but she also left a whole community of people down there. So I haven't heard one person talk about that once about
the movie's also definitely about classism.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
because she's like, oh, I made it out, but fuck y'all. you know, and it's just like, you know, it was kind of crazy thinking about the fact that, you know, she made it out of there, started a family, everything like that, but you left everybody down there. It's just like, why couldn't both of y'all run out of there?
I mean,
know?
she said that to her.
Yeah.
Like, you could have took me with you.
Yeah.
You know, but that was definitely super interesting, that whole revelation. And the movie definitely has some issues about classism in there, about people having and paying no attention to the people that don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we see, Gabe was the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was super into all this materialistic stuff. Abraham just wanted to see the sun.
Yep.
He just wanted to come above and breathe the air that he breathed. You know what I'm saying? Like Zora, she's willing to give up things because she can't see the end being easily attainable, but her doppelganger had to work super hard to keep up with every and anything.
Yeah.
And then as we see, you know, Adelaide or Red kept up with her dancing no matter what.
Yeah.
And apparently Red, you know, her or Adelaide she didn't.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it kind of shows throughout the whole movie, like when they said like the whole movie is us, and it's the duality of the United States as well, because it's just like there's not necessarily a person like that looks exactly like you in the world, but there's a person that's in the same, that may have similar attributes to you, but they're in a bad situation.
Most definitely.
And we pay no attention to them.
Yeah. And I think I like how it also played on, you know, the faults you kind of like to hide and everything like that. Because even the scene with the white wife, Dahlia, when she was watching the doppelganger of her husband getting killed, she was kind of laughing. And I took that back to the scene in the beginning where she was like, oh, can I murder you? Or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, kind of the negative thoughts being played out by the doppelgangers was kind of crazy to see. And just how it contrasts to, you know, your original self, I guess you so to speak. But I really like that play. It's creepy, but very smartly done.
Well, I feel like that family scene also had play on Janelle Monáe. I like that being played at the beginning, because how the mother, like, you know, because she had gotten some type of Botox or something injected, and her doppelganger was trying to get it out because, you know.
Well, I don't know. We kind of picked it up a different way. Like, you know, they always want to look like black women and be perfection like black women. So when they see that, like, I kind of took that as like, oh, I can't kill you because I know Red wants to kill you. But at the same time, I hate how perfect you look. So when she took the knife and just started going like this, that's kind of how I took it. Well, I don't know if that's extreme.
Because you could look at it like she was like, oh, I see how your cheek is. Let me do that to my cheek.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can argue like that. That's what was happening.
Yeah.
But there's a huge theory going on out there that Jason and Pluto had been switched out at some point. And it's, I will say, an interesting theory. There's some cool aspects to the story.
Is it just because of the last scene?
I don't think it's just because of the last
scene.
Well,
I know that.
There's a couple points throughout the movie, but I feel what it is that Jordan Peele's movies are so interesting. It makes you want to dig deep and find these crazy conspiracies.
I mean, some of the clues are there, but I'm like 50-50 on it. Like, it could be if we had some more information about the last trip that they had taken and everything like that. But, I mean, I just came down to the understanding that Jason was like, I know that you're not, I mean, I know you're my mom, but I know that you're from somewhere else that you're not saying that you're from. And him just taking the mask down was just like, you know what? I'm just accepting this fact that you're not who you say you are originally. Kind of like I'm keeping your secret.
I took it as like we're all hiding something. So
that
let
too.
me put the mask on.
Yeah, that
but
too.
I feel like that whole scene was designed for everybody to take something different from it. Because I'm pretty sure if we speak to somebody else, they might take something else.
Definitely. And I think that was just the great thing about this movie is that even there was a whole bunch of things that you're like, what? It brought up discussions about certain aspects of the movie and everything like that. But I really like how it tied with the whole what's the thing in America thing? Hands across America, because it was something that really couldn't be done, but they showed that it could be done. And just the scene of everybody.
It's just the fact that Americans gave up too quick.
That too.
So it's like the Hands Across America was basically like an organization they were trying to use to raise money for people in poverty.
Yeah.
And they looked at it as somewhat of a failure.
Yeah.
The only thing they looked at it as positive is they were like, Americans can come together. But as far as trying to save the people that were in poverty and everything, they kind of gave up on that.
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing in the essence that what America does. You know what I mean?
Now we got to talk about this though. How the hell did they get all that, the clothes and the scissors and shit? And why the hell didn't they just go out the door if Adeline or Red knew how to get out?
Because
what?
Oh, well, actually somebody had pointed out, and that's why they thought that Get Out and another reason why they thought Get Out and Us were linked.
Mm-hmm.
When people were in the sunken place, how did they get them out? A flash, right?
Yes.
Bright light. Well, the thing is before Red actually, or before Adeline came up to the surface,
mm-hmm.
there was a flash of lightning outside. And that's what made her go upstairs, and that's what made Red go inside, or the original Adeline go into the House of Mirrors to begin with. Like, remember, that's what brought her to the beach. So they were saying they think it has something to do with that instant. Now, I don't feel like Adeline actually saw the flashlight down in the basement, but it was something that drew her upstairs because of that lightning storm that was happening. And I feel like we're not going to get that answer 100% because I feel like it has something to do with the government experiment.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it has something to do with the color red, because as we said on Get Out, everybody at that slave auction party that they were having was wearing some type of red.
I saw another theory point out that the color red was the last thing that Red had seen before being abducted or before being left down in the bottom. She saw the Michael Jackson, the jacket and everything.
Oh, those t-shirts.
And she linked that with the Hands Across America thing. So I thought that was a pretty focal point too, because switching the shirts was really vital. That was the last thing she's seen and everything like that. So I thought that was another nice touch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they got the red. I just feel like people are reading too much into it when they're saying, why couldn't this happen? Why couldn't that happen? Look, I'm pretty sure Jordan Peele has the answer.
Yeah.
And in some of those questions, when people were asking him, he was just like this.
Well,
you won't get no answer out of me on that.
Well, I want to point out the amazing cinematography in this movie, because the one point I wanted to touch on earlier was when Adeline was talking to Gabe about her experience when she was younger, and I like how the camera was positioned behind her, staring out the window, but giving a faint reflection of herself. Mm-hmm. And I think the movie did that well. I felt like
that was intentional. They did a lot of duality. Moments with the film where you're just like,
even with her head face down on the coffee table,
you can see too.
And it's just like they did that a lot of times in the movie.
Did you notice that they did the open face with the tears running down like they did in Get Out multiple times in this movie?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
because Adeline did it and Red did it.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but why?
But yeah, the cinematography in the movie was really, really, really beautiful. Just I love when there's a lot of attention paid to detail, and the fact that I had the liberty of seeing the first 45 minutes twice, I was able to pick up on a lot of different things here and there, even with the placement of, like the fun house and everything like that. I caught more 11/11 references that I didn't catch before. I don't know, when Gabe was watching TV, there was 11/11 references.
The Giants game was tied 11-11.
Yeah, and I was just like, I didn't catch that the first time. So it's just a lot of subtle things that really made the movie stand out. And even when I watch it again, I want to look for more things. And
I found it interesting that red frisbee ended up over top of the blue.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't feel like it was a coincidence.
That's what she said. All the coincidences lining up.
But I feel like that has some deeper meaning. Because I don't know what the blue signified, but the red had signified them coming up, because the red was on top of the blue.
Yeah. I mean, could say it was on top of the underground. It's underneath. Something like that.
I mean, hey, when Fuck the Police comes on, what is his first couple lines? Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Yo, damn, didn't even think about that. Damn you, Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I know, right? He put too much thought into this shit.
Yeah.
But if you had to rate the movie, man, how would you rate it?
Check. Grade A.
Yeah, I already pre-ordered it on Vudu.
I mean,
it was $32. You can get Out and Us for $32.
I mean, despite some things with wondering how the people stayed down there so long with nobody finding out, and
because something happened to break the link.
I'm talking about anybody going to the find house, finding that one trap door, anything just going down there. You telling me for 30 years that just stayed hidden?
They probably changed. I mean, they changed it.
Like I said, that's the only thing I hate about the movie. It's just like, yo, nobody found this door. Tell me this place was in perfect business the whole time. Nobody they remodeled it. They call it Merlin's Funhouse.
She didn't even have a ticket when she went in. There was nobody to give a ticket.
I'm talking about when, as time progresses, you change a park, building, anything. There's renovations. You telling me that the same owner kept this place hidden? Whoever was part of this government experiment kept this place hidden so nobody would find a trap door and open it and go down the escalator? Yeah. And you telling me that people down there were afraid to go up the escalator just because it was coming down?
They weren't afraid to go up it. They just wouldn't.
No, man, they need more than that. That's the only inconsistent. But that's not the purpose.
Like
but that's not the purpose of the movie, though. The purpose of the movie. That
director's commentary comes out.
The purpose of the movie was not, to piece together logic, I would say, but more of the meanings and everything like that. So that's just a little nitpick.
Yeah, I give it a check as well. I think the movie was genius. Jordan Peele, he's got something going with these suspense thriller movies that people are considering horror movies. Yeah. The ideas are scary. It's like kind of like this idea of needing to treat everybody right and take care of everybody, and that's not necessarily a scary idea, but you should definitely check this movie out for sure. If you ain't seen it yet, you're tripping.
I mean, you just gave away the whole story.
I mean, we pretty much did. I mean, we didn't talk about. We
didn't talk about every single
thing. We kind of skipped some things.
Yeah.
For time's sake, but it's a really good movie,
yeah.
All right, Joe. Let us know what movies we should do next. Hit us up at TRC Podcast on Instagram.
Ambitious Image.
And Twitter at TRC Podcast Live.
Ambitious Ace.
Go and subscribe to our Patreon. You get 7-day early access to some videos. You get exclusive videos that's only going to be on Patreon. We got some other stuff coming as well.
Yep.
And, yeah.
All right.
All right, Joe.
Peace.